And we are live.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Daniel Allison, the average dude, my cousin Jenny Winny.
That's me.
And now, if you've never joined us before, we have this show. We do it every week, every Thursday, don't we, Jenny?
Yep, every Thursday. I think we've missed like what? 2 or 3, maybe.
2 or 3. And how long have we been doing it? We've been doing
it over a year now.
So you would think that we'd start to get a little better, maybe some improvement. Do you think we're improving?
I think we are.
What do you think improvement is? In a show like this, what do you think improvement is?
I think it is, for me, our improvement is I'm just not nervous like I used to be.
Yeah, not nervous, right?
To me, it opens you up for being a little more real and authentic, and those first few episodes, and I'm like, "Ooh, what did he mean by that? I don't know what that means." And
overthinking.
Yeah,
overthinking.
And now I'm just kind of like blah blah blah. What do you think? And then everybody's like, "Oh, she's stupid," but I just don't care.
Yeah. Now, come on. Remember, no deprecation here. But what I will say, I agree with you. And that's why it's always important when you're on that personal growth journey, you get used to certain things. And once it starts becoming, once you're calm, well, then you've got to start pushing it a little bit. That's why I want to do more. We've talked about it a lot. Everybody's like, when are they going to do this?
Yeah,
we got to get out there. We got to get out there and talk to the people in person, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So much more energy like that. We do have.
Daniel, you remember like way back, one of our first times, we had somebody say, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you do it live from?" It was a restaurant,
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
We don't have to necessarily be interviewing someone particular, but
just
we can live on location.
Live on location. Maybe one of these new restaurants downtown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, you don't have anybody in here at 11:30. Let's try to get some people in here, right? But we'll have to talk to Peach about that. I think he had a little sports show that he used to do. One of our guests today. So I'm gonna be using some names, Peach and Steamer, and they've got real names, they've got legal names, but those are the nicknames that will be. Oh, you switched it up on me.
Well, Daniel, because you're on the wrong side again.
No, see, I disagree with maybe.
I don't, because Jonathan even acknowledged it.
Oh, wrong sides of the screen again, Daniel. Thank you, Jonathan. Improvement is that sweet blue suit. Thanks, Jonathan. I tell you what, it's great to have good supporters.
Jonathan, you weren't here last week, and it just there was a void that hung.
There was something missing. Jenny Winnie's exactly right. There was something missing. So glad to have Jonathan in the comments. If you're out there, if you're listening, do us a favor and comment. It feels so good to see. Hey, there's somebody watching. Somebody wants to know something.
And you know what else, Daniel?
What's that?
I mentioned this to you, but that's why we want the comments, because just Tuesday, customer called the store, was talking to my mom.
Yeah.
And she said something about she loves seeing my reels, and we're like, oh, okay, for A Boutique. But then she's like, but Jenny Winny and the average dude. Yeah. And she watches sometimes, and she's like, she loves it.
Yeah, that's good.
Kathy, if you're watching, there's a little shout out to you, Kathy. You know who you are. And
Kathy, show yourself. Show yourself. Come out of wherever you're hiding and say hello. But seriously, it is great. Even just a little small audience, it's great to interact with people.
I love it when you'll text me. You're like, "Hey, I was walking by downtown, and they're like, hey, you're the average dude. I watched you."
Average dude, yeah. It is. It's cool. But what I do want to tell you is so I want to talk a little bit about networking. We were just talking about personal growth. So what I did this morning, I went to a networking event. Didn't know but one person there.
Ooh.
But what we were talking about earlier, getting out of your comfort zone. Of course, I do all these networking events and I'm kind of involved in that. Well, I went to one where I didn't know anybody. So we got a room full of people, and of course,
out of your comfort zone.
Completely out of my comfort zone. And you know what they do at the networking event? You got to introduce yourself, right?
It's like that
And
first day of school. My name is Daniel Allison.
my name is Jeremy Daniel Allison. Jeremy Allison. That's what they used to always say.
Yep.
But then I'd correct him. No, ma'am. It's Daniel.
Daniel.
It's Daniel. But today I got that feeling of what it's like to introduce, because you forget that, right? I mean, just like you say, we get used to things and we don't know what it's like to be new. And so so I said all that to say this. When it got time for me to introduce myself, I couldn't shut up, Jenny. I just kept talking.
That's okay.
And it's like somebody just cut me off, or I'll just keep going.
Sometimes I'm like, it's just word vomit, and it just keeps coming out, and I'm like, I don't even know why, but that's what we do. We are talking.
That's right. Now, what I will say too, though, when we introduce ourselves, I like it when I call it Einstein's elevator pitch, right? So Einstein's elevator pitch is something that's just as simple. I like you're explaining what you do to an elementary school student, right? Because the tendency is to use all these acronyms and all of these, to try to sound like you know something.
Yes.
But then the message of what you actually do gets lost in there somehow.
I'm the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Those acronyms, that'll throw you off. What's going on with you, Jenny Winny?
Well, I have I'm hosting a bridal shower this weekend.
A bridal shower this weekend. Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't really have enough things on my plate.
Oh yeah, you needed to be a little busier and do things for others. You're really selfish with your time.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna be honest with you. Cooking and making anything like that you eat, that's not my forte. Okay, and I've become known for that it's not my forte.
Yeah, you let everybody know. That way you don't have to work on it.
Well, I'm trying, but everybody's coming to this shower and I've got to make stuff and I'm just a little anxious about it.
No, don't feel like you've got to make something. But popcorn is ready. I love it, Ruse. Matthew Ruse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this, Daniel. When one of your friends says, she was talking to my mom and she said, listen, if we need legal work, if I needed another divorce, whatever, Jenny is my girl.
Yes.
If we need somebody to make like a roast or something, we're not calling her.
And that's okay. That's you. We tend to think we have to fit into this profile of what someone is supposed to be able to do. Yeah. Right? You think for some reason you're supposed to be able to prepare these little whatever they are.
I just don't care that much about food. You know what I mean?
Yes. I am drinking. It's a supplement called Alpha Brain, and it helps me with my, I know.
Alpha Brain.
Yeah, Alpha Brain. But it helps with that cognitive ability there, Jonathan. So thanks for asking.
Oh, hey, this is something I hadn't mentioned to you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Something how we don't like negativity. You know how we always are like, validation does feel good. And what do we do? Well, on some of my reels, I've gotten a couple of negative comments.
Uh-oh. How did you handle that? No, tell me what one was. Give me an example of a negative comment.
Okay. Why do you wear clothes that are so big when you're so small? It's tacky.
Ooh, called you tacky.
And I said, I said, it's the clothing that we sell and I want people to be able to see them. So I have to wear it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's good for you, honestly, just like it would be good for anybody to face a little criticism, to not always get the best. I mean, look, what is it? That one movie, he said people either think that we're great, think we're terrible, or think that we're okay, or they don't, more likely, they do not
even think about us.
They could not care any less. And that goes for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But, so one of the great things about having something like this, just a little vehicle to drive around, to introduce great people. It might be people we don't know. It might be people that we know. And the guests that I'm invited to be on the show today are two guys that are just a lot of fun. They're part of my fitness group. They're right here from Spartanburg. And so we've met one of them here on the show before, but today we're going to have four squares. We're going to have four people at one time. The first person I'm going to invite in, Stan Parker. And then there's Stan. Welcome, Stan.
Glad to be here.
Now look, now Peach has left us in the dark.
He's in the fluorescent. We're going to talk to this fluorescent. Well, hey.
He's got his bike. I saw that bike in the background. Now you don't see any pictures of Peach's kids, but you do see the bicycle. That's his baby.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So he's going.
Hey, Jenny, you remember the person talking to you about the clothes?
yeah.
The longtime radio show host. Caller calls in, lady, complaint. You talk about Burns. You talk about Burns. You know what I told her? It's my show. I talk about what I want.
It's my store. I can wear what I want.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks.
Hey, hang on. I got to change hats.
There you go. Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay.
There you go.
Steamer, he can't stand it. He's trying to think it.
He looks like the Unabomber now. So
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on.
Unabomber on a bike. That's a dangerous combo.
Hey, let's get it out of the way right here real quick.
Now you got all sorts of hats there, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Steamer, what we got here? Swimming cap, or do we have a marathon cap from the Quad Cities?
I think that's just a good old shower cap.
I had to wear this at the wedding. Did I do okay, Steamer?
He did a great job at the wedding. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So Jenny just mentioned she's doing a bridal shower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And both of our guests today, I wanted to talk about things that we all have in common, right? So we can all kind of participate. So I know that Steamer, his daughter, just got married here not too long ago.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
yeah. How long has it been now?
It's been about 15 months, but my oldest daughter's getting married in August. So yeah, she's
You have
33.
two daughters?
Yes.
And wow, so they just they hit you twice. That's got to be a little painful.
Yep. And the cool thing is we're having a 30th birthday party for my youngest at my house on Saturday. And then on May the 6th.
What time?
May the 6th, we're having Tony's 60th birthday, an F3. We call it Steamer Fest.
The Steamer Fest. So
yeah, but so my daughter's turning 30. Peach is turning 60. So, and we're going to celebrate both at my house here.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do want to talk about the thing that really, the reason that I know you guys and something that we have in common is, and we got the question here, where did Peach and Steamer come from? So we have to tell folks the story of F3. So I'd like Stan to go first here and tell me how did you find out about this fitness group and become involved in it, and what has it done for you?
Well, I found out about it from a guy here at work, Wes Slayer, who's pretty well known here in Spartanburg. But I work for Truist as a middle market banker, and Wes and I have been working together for about 12 years. But the group got started 8 years ago, got involved in it. That's where I met Tony, and we started out on the west side of Spartanburg and then gravitated back to the downtown, I don't know, probably 6 years ago. But Tony and I were a part of that original West Side group. And, once we got sort of involved in it, it's kind of hard to quit. So it's been a real blessing to me. Met a lot of really great guys in that group. And, guys are pretty good about isolating themselves and not sharing life together. And that F3 group, it'll draw it out of you, whether you want to or not. You end up sharing a lot with a lot of really great people. So it's been awesome to be a part of F3 for sure.
And you guys all have like your own little, it's like a little club, and you have everybody got their little nickname. It's like, so you're Steamer now. Why are you Steamer?
I got to name myself. It's the first time in F3 history somebody but they started out trying to call me Dabo, and I had nothing to do with that because I'm a diehard Gamecock fan. So
But that's the point, Steamer,
Sorry, I
is
can't
that we
hear you.
name you something you don't want to be named,
I
right?
was never going to come back if I was going to be Dabo.
that was a deal breaker
That's
for
a
you.
deal breaker.
But
So,
Dabo's a great ball coach now.
he's a great guy. There's no doubt.
But you just weren't gonna carry the
I
nickname.
wasn't.
So
Yeah,
we went with Steamer instead.
yeah, and that was in the middle of our. That was in our middle of our 5-year run against the Tigers in football too. So we were on a roll. I didn't want to jinx it.
Oh yeah. Well, it turned out he did anyway. Maybe because you rejected the name. That's why.
That's what it is. You don't ever
Right.
reject Dabo
Yep.
ever.
Yeah. And now Peach, we got to hear about how you got your nickname of
Yep.
Peach. I know some people may have heard the story, but some may not have. So you got to let them know.
And Jonathan, don't worry, we're going to share Daniel's.
And I'm still trying to figure out everything Steamer just said. He probably got it because his name's Stanley.
Well,
Stanley
Stanley
Steamer.
Steamer, yeah.
And we probably let him off the hook. Will Gremlin did. And
Yeah. He knew somebody at the top in a powerful position.
Yeah, Will is our fearless leader.
Yes. Big shout out to Will Gramling if he's
No doubt.
tuned in.
Will has done, did a great job.
So, Jenny, it's worth the listeners to go to www.f3nation.com. Founded, I think, New Year's Eve 2011 in Charlotte by businessmen. They had a bigger goal in mind than to doing push-ups and sit-ups. They would use that as their platform for helping us be better boyfriends, husbands, men at work, men on the
really?
street. Yeah, it's big. It's bigger. There's podcasts, so we're just a small. They call where we work out AO, area of operations. So if you go to the website, it's really deep, thick. It'll tell you a whole lot. And by the way, real quick, they have a ladies version called FIA, Female in Actions. Very strong group in the Greer, Greenville area, and they have their own Facebook page. I wish some lady, and I've spoken to a few that could take it, grab it in Spartanburg and create it. So I show up late August, I think, right when high school football season starts in 2014. We had been up Burns. We had been up to play Northwestern the night before. I heard a little bit about F3. I show up. I had the nerve to eat a Big Mac at McDonald's on the way home Friday night. I won't tell you how it tasted at F3 on Saturday morning, but anyway, newbies get to experience a lot. But so I was sitting beside the current mayor of the city of Spartanburg, Jerome Rice, which I forgot his name, but he came one time or a few times. I was sitting beside him. And when you go around the circle at the end, you're the FNG, the friendly new guy. And then you get to tell everything about yourself and what you like, what you don't, et cetera, et cetera. And I told him about working at the city, Burns, et cetera. And then Jerome Rice said, "Oh, he's a big Burns football guy. He does the radio for them." And someone in the circle said, "Well, I bet he hates the Gaffney Indians."
Yeah.
We did then, I guess.
So it was true.
It was a great rivalry. So they said, "Name him the Peachoid."
Oh.
Now I noticed this morning, Peach. So Jenny, what happens after we finish the workout? We work out for about 45 minutes from 5:30 to 6:15. After we finish, and we go around the circle, similar to what I was talking about with the networking event, right? Where but in F3, you say your name, your age, and your F3 name, right? So
Every single time?
Every single time, right? So, and now sometimes some of the folks there, including some of our guests, they have a special way of doing it, right? You add a little something to it. See, most people keep it kind of the same, but some people like to stand out and make it a little more fun. Stan, he's got this gun thing that he does. Stan,
and do it for us.
You just pat your sides and then you just get the gun.
Yeah.
I shot the ducks out of the air
Yes.
with the gloves. Throw the gloves up like they're
That's a new one too. So he'll take his gloves, Jenny. He'll throw them up in the air and boom, boom. Like he's-
And that one brought the house down. Nobody's ever come close to replicating anything quite like that. But, yeah, but what forged my relationship with Peach? Peach and I have to stick together because we're the two oldest guys in the group. I'm actually the oldest guy in the group. I just turned 61. Peach is getting ready to turn 60. But the beauty of all that is, and I think there's probably some F3 guys that are watching or will watch this, I outwork everybody in the group. Peach probably comes in a distant second.
Woo!
And
Getting real.
Daniel is the fastest guy in the group. And he proved that again this morning. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm getting
Well,
somebody's going to take the crown from me very soon, I'm sure. So
yeah, maybe it'll be that Jerry Cantrell that beat you.
Jerry Cantrell,
Oh, yeah.
he's going to find me. He's going to come and run me down. So, she's got a question. That's good, Jenny. We need an outsider to be asking some questions.
Okay, so like Jonathan, just so you know, Daniel's nickname is Freon.
Freon.
Yep. Waldrop. Okay. I've met a couple of you people. Like, okay, so Daniel's Freon.
Yep.
Steamer.
Steamer.
Peach. Skid.
That's Skid Mark, actually. We shortened some of the
I don't think I would like the name Skid Mark, but that's fine. Skid Mark. The body.
The body. Right? Yes, absolutely. You're getting good, Jenny.
Yeah, I know. I pay attention. My question is this. So you work with Waldrop. Peach, you're with the city of Spartanburg. Stan, you're with the bank. Jesse has that, what was it? It's like the IT kind of thing.
Catalyst IT.
The Bobcat skid guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, this is diverse. These are
all. That's the beauty. Absolutely.
So, is F3 also a networking type of group?
It is. It's. I'll let you guys answer that. Stan, go ahead.
Do y'all use it also?
Tell us some of the benefits. Let's kind of talk about some of the benefits.
Well, for me, I mean, again, this is kind of basic, but we're a bunch of guys, all different.
Mm-hmm.
Some are married, some are not. Some have kids, some don't. We're young, we're old. I mean, we had an 18-year-old show up this morning, right?
Wow.
So we're all just doing life together, you know, and everybody's experiencing, different things, the good times and the bad. And, we get together on Saturday mornings after the workout and go to Little River, coffee bar. And that's where we really, I think, engage, in a lot of different conversations. I know a lot of the guys are involved in, contracting and rental properties and things of that nature. So there's a lot of networking,
absolutely,
that takes place there. But more than anything, we've forged some really great friendships amongst the group. And as you get older, like Peach and I, those kind of relationships, you kind of understand how important they are. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what it's meant to me.
That 18-year-old walking in today, did you get the sense he felt out of place?
Well, it was the second time there. He's still learning the ropes, but yeah,
but
we've had a couple of young guys there, but I mean, we got a lot of guys in their mid to late 20s, and then I'd say probably our average age is probably right around 40 or so.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's that wide range of personalities, of ages, different occupations. I've learned more here after on Saturday mornings. I've learned more in those conversations than I do all week. Right?
Different fitness levels.
Fitness levels. Yeah.
I can remember Peach, back in the day when we worked out with Clyde, and the first time I ever, when you puke on the side of the road, that's just not really cool. I mean, I don't care who you are. So it's like, do y'all go out of your way to make people feel like, encouraged and you can do it? And even when it's like their first couple of times or.
Actually, that is really supposed to be the theme. No man left behind.
Okay.
See, Peach and I have different philosophies on that.
Yeah.
Let's-
Look at Sam's kind of like, I leave them behind.
Okay,
No.
here's the bottom line.
I'll circle back and pick them up.
Overrun you. You will leave a man behind. He will. At workout, he will.
Uh-huh.
And I'll have to call Mab on this because he led this morning, Taylor Brown.
Yeah.
Taylor is probably the best F3 guy that covers the back better than anyone. But Steamer, I don't care what you say, he'll leave you behind. I'm
I'll
scared.
circle back.
Peach, I got that feeling though, honestly, because I said it, and
Yep.
and Stan was kind of like I started speaking a different language. He's like, "What do you mean? Go back and help him?"
Yeah.
Stan's got to be able to. Let's let Stan defend himself here.
No, he's the oldest guy, so he can't be left behind. He's got to try to stay in front.
Yeah. So it does get challenging sometimes if there's, sometimes folks are hurt or whatever the case might be. How should we handle such things, Stan?
Well, I would just say that, you need to have at least a basic level of fitness before you come out there. I mean, if you haven't worked out, if you haven't
It don't say that. It don't
no,
say that.
I'm just telling you.
It
You
don't
haven't-
say that.
Have you
Abort
not-
mission. Abort mission.
Have you not heard on every announcement related to any kind of exercise, consult your physician before you start an exercise program? So that's my concern, is that somebody comes out there and they've got some kind of medical condition they're not aware of, and now they're taking their heart rate up to max heart rate from zero. And,
Yeah.
we've had a few little instances over the years where,
We've had a
guys
few.
passed out. Yeah. But yeah, you got to be a little bit cautious, I guess, about,
Right.
Get out there and do a little walking, do a little running, just kind of understand kind of what's going on with your body, and then definitely come on out. So that's what I would
Like you don't start running before you walk. You know what I mean? Yeah.
exactly.
So I want to switch gears here a little bit from the F3 and the exercise. And I know both of you guys have been at your jobs and your occupations here in town for a long time. You've seen a lot of growth happening in Spartanburg, and I'd love to get your thoughts on that growth and where things are going and where they've been. Stan, we'll start with you.
Because Stan, you're with Truist, is that right?
That's correct.
That was BB&T. Is that right?
That was BB&T. BB&T and SunTrust merged to form Truist. We're the seventh largest bank in the country now.
Okay.
Yep. And headquartered in Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason I knew that is because I was doing grandma's bank statements, and all of a sudden it went from BB&T to Truist. I keep getting these notifications from Truist. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're the purple guys.
Yeah.
Purple bank. But yeah, so my clients are primarily large, privately held companies in the upstate. Some are outside of South Carolina, but business has been really good. The pandemic stuff obviously changed a lot of things,
Yes.
but I think most companies have done really well. The upstate's been a beneficiary of a lot of that. There's distribution space, popping up everywhere. You drive down 85, you drive down 101, 290, you get into Woodruff, you get into Gaffney. I mean, it's everywhere. So, a lot of onshoring going on that's driving the need for keeping products, local, and that's what's happening with all that distribution space. And then, of course, BMW. I mean, this is their largest manufacturing plant, in the world, and the ripple effect from that, continues with a lot of the announcements, that you see out there. So yeah, the upstate's in a great spot, but you do kind of wonder ultimately where all this is going to lead. I mean, is it going to be 5 years a place that feels different than it feels now, and we all want to sort of hang on to the past in some ways. But
But everything changed. It completely changed.
Yeah. The most exciting thing, and I think this is where Tony can jump in here, is what's happening in the city. I mean, to me, that I've been here 35 years, and I was here when the city was dead. And, I drove home Monday night, 6:30 from my office, and the downtown, there were people everywhere on a Monday night, which was,
Crazy.
who'd ever believe that could happen? So
no, but I'm telling you, it's like Daniel and I, we were born and raised in Spartanburg, and to see how it has changed immensely, it's just like, and I love it because it's not, I mean, I love Greenville also, but it's not quite as big and overwhelming as Greenville. It's got like a little quaint feel.
yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I went to Greenville earlier this week, and you're right. It's just like this explosion of, I mean, condos everywhere, high rises. It's really starting to get that big city feel. But then as I was coming down West Main Street into Spartanburg, we got the courthouse going up, nice building. We got the AC Marriott Hotel.
Yeah.
I said, hey, 5 years from now,
Where's
this little development behind the AC Marriott Hotel, I just thought to myself, wow, we're getting there. We're getting there. If that's a good place to go, we're going. Peach, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's amazing because I also am from here, and just I came to work with the city 1 month after Dale Earnhardt lost his life at Daytona.
Oh, wow.
A long time ago.
That was.
And
I remember that, though, but yeah.
So I've seen a lot of things, like Stan said. It was just a quiet town, and it was, Jenny, when we worked out at Clyde's.
It sure was. I mean, we ran up and down Main Street all the time.
I know. I used to see those buildings just empty. I said, I don't even know how they operate, because I work with public works. But now that I'm in facilities, and I can't believe it. I got a meeting again with the city manager next week, and boy, it'd be good for you guys to tap into Chris or someone because Chris, he loves that stuff. As far as maybe he would come on, or maybe Christopher George, just to tell you other things that's going on. But I can tell you because it's in the media. But we've got the so the city has city court also. That's in the current city hall. So so city court will have occupancy in the new courthouse. And so I went with a meeting with the court folks the other day, just as the building maintenance rep, because I really won't have anything really to do. That'll be a county building with a small area for city court.
Mm-hmm.
Their offices will be. And then if you've been over at St. John's and Forest Avenue where the Iron Bridge is, so
Yes.
current construction. So a lot of people forget about the penny sales tax that took place a few years ago, that not only is for every Spartanburg County resident, and then if you're a little, if you're a city, like the city's got a deal going on where, there's the police station that's being built right there at the Iron Bridge. That'll be part of the penny sales tax. And then when it's done, and I attend weekly Tuesday meetings for that to let you know where everything is, how everything's being reconciled, a little more expense. The city might have to roll some pennies and quarters and stuff for some extra things that they want for that facility. But if all goes right, they were given an update yesterday. They would love to think that facility would be done. I might tell it wrong. I thought they said late August to September, that they would love to be tweaking it and finishing it, And then the old Smith Drug, we're going to put the police department over on the opposite side of the Iron Bridge. So that building's going to be upfitted for a fire station, the main station from the city of Spartanburg. So if we get those two entities out of the current city hall, then we will move folks next door to 187 West Broad, which will be city hall. I mean, those are some things probably hasn't really been thrown out there, but we've got a, city hall, the new building, all that's going to be coming down in the next some months. And, there's just, like Stan said, there's a lot of great things. It's fun to be it's fun to be a part of the city. It could sound stress, but for me, I love it, man, because I love to see the city grow.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, dang, I got old, and now I'm more busier as, in the wind down years. be busier
what I say,
in your
Pete.
younger years.
I
Yeah.
say that too. I said I should not. I mean, I'm about to turn 49.
Yeah.
I'm just busier every single day. Every single
So,
day.
so the cool thing is just that all that's happening. I mean, think about what Bill Barnett and that group is
Oh,
doing to the north side, and then you're going to start to see things happen more to the west side, going out to the old Coca-Cola plant.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And then Johnson Development, they got a little bit of a secret right up the street here, and Daniel keeps his eye on that piece of property. And
Yeah.
I know that something's about to happen again. A lot of grading's gonna. So we don't get to know those secrets and stuff, but everybody's talking about and speculating what it is. But it's fun, man, because I love where I work. The city of Spartanburg, Stan knows they've done a great job. They really have. They've had good leadership. Chris, Mitch, everybody, things that Ed Memmott done prior to leaving. These guys planted seeds a long time ago. And now you're starting to see some great things happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
fun.
awesome.
Can you imagine Peach winding down?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure I believe that.
Yeah, if you know Peach, you know that Peach. He's always on. I mean, if he's upright, he's on.
Hey, and we're on. Listen,
And we're on. We had a little group text going earlier, and Peach was like, Peach is always. I said, "You ready?" He said, "Peach is always ready."
Gets married right in Daniel's back door at Indigo Hall this weekend. Marries a Spartanburg girl, and
your son. That's right.
Drew is a doctor of physical therapy, and he's hired by a South Carolina company from down in Florence. And I guess I might be the one that first sneaks this, but down below Willie Taco. Going to the east side, the buildings that are right down near Lawson Fork Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Promotion, sports rehabilitation, medicine, physical therapy is coming there in April. Drew will be the main doctor there. And then Anna works in cancer research and pharmacy, and she'll be at Prisma. And so Drew not only will be a business owner, taxpayer, but Anna and Drew bought a home in the city limits of Spartanburg, so they'll be taxpayers too. So it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. He's always been involved in sports, and this seems like it's just right up his alley. Oh, yeah. And coming back to hometown where his dad is, I just think that's awesome.
I do too. It's really hard to believe because Stan knows, you're talking about Carolina, when the kids leave, sometimes Drew left in 2012. And you know how you see them at holidays and visit and stuff. Mm-hmm. But so technically, he's been gone a good 10, 11 years.
Oh, wow.
And now to come back home after all the schooling and starting to man, don't get me started on that.
He's a great head. No, he is as good a young man as you would ever want to meet. Peach,
yeah.
Kay, I'll give most of the credit to Kay.
Yeah. Give credit where credit's due.
They raised a good one with Drew. He's fantastic.
Hey Jenny, I got a good one for you. So go to my Facebook page. Everybody go to Tony K. Maccabee Facebook page, and of course, there's a good looking picture. I think it Stan. Anyway, I got my hat on. But what I wanted to tell you, Jenny, I was waiting on those wedding pictures to come in. I took a few of Kay. And Kay really worked hard on her diet, getting ready for the wedding so she could be smoking hot. And then I was thinking, riding my bike yesterday, I said, number one, how beautiful she was. And number two, when I find another picture from that wedding, I'm going to put it on the Facebook, and I'm going to just put on there, my girlfriend for the last 34 years.
Oh,
there you go.
Man, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Stan?
I'm going to get in trouble if I don't say something. Yeah, so I can top that.
Yeah.
So my wife, Vicky Parker, she's, we're coming up on 39 years.
Woo!
Wow.
In October. We've been married, and we've known each other 44 years. So
wow.
Started dating in high school.
Started dating in high school. I didn't know that.
Yeah, once you sample the steamer, I mean, it's just
Anything less would just be a big drop off.
Hey, Stan, I have to tell you something funny that I told Daniel. So, he said your nickname was Steamer, and then I kind of said, I was thinking Stanley Steamer, and then my mind goes to carpet. And so this is where my mind went. I said, so is he related to Steve Parker? Steve Parker at Carpet One? He had nothing to do with Stanley Steamer.
No, I grew up in Columbia, so I'm not related to any of the Parkers around here. But a lot of people might know my wife. She's been at Charter Spectrum for 35 years. She sells advertising.
I gotcha.
For those guys and does an awesome job. And
she's been there 35 years?
35 years.
Whoa.
They must be a great company to work for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We tend to, in my family at least, I mean, I've worked at two banks in almost 40 years. She's been there 35. We've been together 30, almost 39. So, once you find a good thing, you kind of stick with it. So.
And that's I agree. And I'd like to segue again and talk about this is kind of my benchmark, my way of trying to say, who is this person? If I'll ask them this one question, do you like Andy Griffith? Right. And if that person says, yes, I love Andy Griffith, then I say, you know what? You've got one of these right here.
You got to be good people.
Hey, people. Jenny, listen. You know what this is?
What?
You know what that is? We busting out tonight. Wait. You know what this one is? Barney's in jail.
Clearly you love it.
That's one of the things, when you get a bunch of guys working out like we were talking about in the beginning, and you're just out and, that's what makes it fun, is talking about different Andy Griffith episodes. That's what Peach was talking about this morning. I said, you got to talk about Andy Griffith.
You know what, Daniel? It makes me go back to what you always say. We're all just people. You know what I mean?
We do it on bike rides, Jenny. We do it on bike rides. We know every line of Christmas Vacation. When he asked the little Rocky for a little kiss, and he says, hey, you might want to check that. He's got a lip fungus that he's yet to hide.
Yeah. You might want to hold up on that. Now, I will say, though, Peach tells this one story that I think is just classic Peach. If I could get him to just do it like this, Peach, but it's the story where you're watching the ball game with your in-laws, and he says, one thing you cannot do. Can you take it from there and just tell us that story? I love that story.
So the abbreviated version.
The abbreviated version.
Abbreviated version. We're limited.
This is easy. Kay says, let's ride up to Dad's, because Kay's mother passed away a few years ago. So her dad lives in Lyman now, and he's got his own home. And so he's a graduate at the University of Tennessee. We're watching Alabama and Georgia, and it's just about to kick off. And I'm on the couch over here. Kay's on the opposite side of the room. He's in his big recliner. And, Peach don't talk a whole lot. It's my mama's fault anyway. But anyway, so I'm just telling a story. And then, let's see, I can't get my phone right. Let's see. So I'll just use one hand. He leans out towards the TV and says, can we just watch the game? and I got my phone, Jenny. And I text Kay across the room. I said, I'm out of here at halftime. And then I text the F3 group and I said, my father-in-law just basically said, shut up and watch.
I love that. Can't you just see?
Feeling hurt, man.
Oh,
I did. I really did. And you know what he said, though, Stan? He said, I guess I have to watch these games by myself. He told Kay, he said, I didn't mean to make y'all mad.
All right, that's so funny though. That to me, it's things like that. It's these classic human stories of families interacting. I mean, because that's a very real story. Let's face it, Pete, you do like to talk. We love for you to talk, but you are a talker, right?
So, he's 88 years old.
And he can do that then.
Yeah,
He's earned his right to do
You
that.
can't get your feelings hurt by somebody 88 years old. I mean, it's just,
Listen, I mean, and when you're watching sports, that kind of, that's the only time that Daniel, the average dude's dad, ever got on to me as a child is for acting up during the UNC basketball game.
yeah.
He never got in trouble with Big Dave, but
Yeah,
you need to put him down.
You get loud during the ball game and you find out how people really feel about you, don't you, Jenny?
Yeah.
Hey.
Good question.
Yeah.
Dan, I was wondering, so are you more commercial? I know I'm kind of segueing, but I'm interested in this, like for banking. Are you more commercial driven?
Strictly. Yeah, I work. I don't do real estate. I used to do a lot of real estate, but no real estate. But large, privately held companies.
Okay.
Here in Spartanburg, or somebody like the hospital, or some of the colleges here. But a lot of manufacturing, distribution type companies. Yeah.
I'm curious too. It's like, and this might be something you don't know. And if you don't know, you just say, I don't know, and that'd be fine. But, it's like the way things were going, how the housing market was going nuts and everything. Do you see that we're going to end up hitting, like, are things going kind of down, like in a recession-y kind of way?
I would just say that higher interest rates are going to absolutely change the equation. I mean, somebody that might want to buy a $350,000 house might have to start looking at a $250,000.
I know.
Yes, and but the beauty for our area is there's a lot of migration of people into this area, so that's going to keep the housing shortage going in this area. Whereas in maybe other parts of the country, it's going to be a bigger problem. So, that's sort of the counterbalance to the higher rates is that the demand will probably stay pretty steady.
How high are we looking at interest rates?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at mortgage loan rates, I mean, you're in the 7% range. I mean, it's kind of what, there was a time when you could get, low threes, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, and that makes all the difference in the world. Yeah.
So if you're buying a car or buying a house, and you look at that monthly payment, it's kind of staggering if, compared to where it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, that has hurt the banking industry too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to slow things down. I mean, there's a lot of restructuring taking place within the mortgage, lending industry. It went gangbusters for about 10 years. And, there are a lot of people that are getting downsized in that industry right now. The car dealers haven't been able to get cars.
Yep.
Now, if you drive by a car dealership, you'll see a lot of cars on the lot. And
well, like, even I was wondering, I've talked to so many people about how, several commercial companies have gone remote. So would that not affect your line of business since they're not? I mean, I was talking to some that they were, high commercial property in New York. Now they don't have that because they don't need it. They realize they can do it without that. That's got to hurt.
Well, yeah, an office space is going to be challenged for a long time. I mean, all this remote working is changing that whole dynamic. Okay. So, but downtown Spartanburg, there's a shortage of office space.
True.
It just kind of depends on where you are. Yeah.
There is an influx of people, though. My goodness, all the dirt being moved, all these new residential developments going up. So it's an exciting time to be in this area.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I live in Shelby now, but I do come back to Spartanburg. I work in Spartanburg, but I was riding down Sunday evening, and am I correct that Peach, where you said that Forest and Main Street, is that where that Hardee's used to be on Main Street? Okay, and so I was like, I'm riding down through there, and I was like, wow, I can't even believe how much. I was like, there's a QT. I mean, just right there out of the blue, and then I kind of aged myself. I said, I remember right over here was a green stamp store. I don't know if you remember, right there at the corner of Forest. Yes. I said, we used to love to go in there,
Green stamp store.
Green stamps.
Do you remember that?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got green stamps when you went to the store. You get some stamps to put in your little book, and then
go to the store
and buy a toaster or a blender or a.
Wow. No, I don't. That's totally. Maybe you guys are a little older than me.
Daniel, we were raised right together, my friend.
Yeah. Well, you got a better memory than I do.
Remember, so you had the green stamp, but do you remember the top value, the yellow stamp?
Yep.
And you got that community cash where Kapasi is now.
I was going to say.
Oh, wow. Now that is old school therapy.
Old school.
Yeah.
And if you go down that street, it used to be an elementary school. That's where my mom went to elementary school.
So before we run out of time, and I heard early on that we stay away from negative, but we have to say one thing that I think is a concern with all of this growth that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Branches outside of the city too, and the city. I mean, I'm gonna brag all day about my city because I know staff, I know people who are really working hard. So I try to stay really off of Facebook when something happens and it doesn't rub people right, and they throw a lot of comments. And it's not being negative towards their opinion, because certainly people are entitled. But I also know there's some great individuals that try to make things happen in the city. But something that's really concerning to me, and I know all four of this four square here sees it and knows that there's a concern. And here's my concern about it. And I speak being a cyclist, as I'm on all roads and everything. I don't hear, and number one, so it's important. Number one, Stan does. I don't. Number one, I don't read the newspaper. Number two, I don't watch the local news. So if something's going on, they're saying, Peach, sorry, that was addressed. They're doing this. So you would have to correct me, Stan could. I am so concerned about the volume of trash. Something has happened. And especially since the pandemic, I don't know. We don't see anyone picking it up anymore. There's not. And number two is I don't hear from our local folks county-wise, not city, because I know the city has a program for paving city streets. I see that. But I don't ever hear anything from local officials about what the plan is, because as a cyclist, I see the conditions of the road a lot closer than a motorist does. And number two, I also see all of this growth, these neighborhoods that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And what I understand is, how do we, and that's what I wanted to do. I said I was just going to go to the county council meeting where you have a public comment and keep it real simple and straightforward. Go, hey, good evening. I'm Tony McAbee, 59 years old, longtime resident of the county, went to Burns High School. My family worked for Spartan Mills. I currently work for the city of Spartanburg. I just have two questions. What are we doing? I don't see any campaigns. What are we doing about trash? And number two, can you tell us about any kind of future asphalt work? Because you guys, number one, I appreciate all you guys do. We're growing like crazy. I see new neighborhoods, but I'm concerned about the infrastructure. And thank you for letting me come in.
Let's not end on that point right there. Let's take it somewhere else.
But I don't understand, Daniel, Jim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Do you guys ever hear any kind of? We don't talk. Stan, do you remember when Lou Holtz was first hired?
Oh yeah, yep.
He did a huge thing about, because South Carolina was so dirty.
Yes.
And it's really sad, guys. That's not being negative. That's just
I know.
What are we
Yes,
doing?
I think it's part to me, the way I look at, there are, growing pains, right? You have more people come in, you have more cars on the streets, and maybe more foot traffic than we're used to. Mm-hmm. But if you want the growth, you're going to have some of the issues as well, right? I mean, but now I'm not saying, I did like the way you presented that, Peach, but I don't know, Stan, what do you have to say? You're always good at seeing both sides of things.
No, well, I think that, we maybe have lost a little bit of our civic pride as it relates to, what it means to be a good citizen, what it means to be an American. And, we're all wound up in our personal rights and, what's in it for me kind of thing, as opposed to, focusing on, sort of the public,
the greater good.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, I think a focus on citizenship and our individual responsibilities as opposed to our individual rights as citizens would go a long way. So that's not, I mean, we're not going to resolve that here, but I'm just saying that's something I think that we have, we've diminished over time.
I agree with you too, Daniel, though. It's like the more we grow, it's almost like it can't keep up. You know what I mean? And something's going to fall behind and then it'll catch back up. But then I think about what Stan just said about, doing what we can do. So I saw this on something and it's like, if you were to walk and you see trash and it's not yours, do you pick it up and throw it away?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do too.
I can say that I've seen both of these guys do that.
That's the thing. And so many people, they just don't care. They just don't care, So I think that's a lot of it's,
Well, I know that my dad loves to get out on Mike's Circle and pick up trash. Now he will complain about it why he does it, but he does.
But he does it. My neighbors, she is probably about 85. She gets out there with her little gripper thing and she picks up trash all along the street. Does it every day, every single day.
It's a good idea. If we walk by a piece of trash that we could have picked up, then we can't complain about the trash problem, can we? I mean,
exactly.
So
yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys jumping on here with us. It's fun to introduce people that I look up to and appreciate and respect and have fun with, to bring them on something like this and introduce them to others. Jeannie's got a question. What is it?
That we could, even though Stan very affirmatively said, that, so like if I were in F3, I could get a nickname.
Oh, yeah. What would Jenny's nickname? Jenny Winny needs a nickname. And what would it be? I did tell her we're going to close ourselves out.
Stan is so against it, he ain't even going to think about it.
No, his wheels are spinning. He's got
Steamer, the best namer, Jenny. I have to give Steamer credit. He does.
Yeah.
I think Skidmark's pretty good too.
Skidmark is a great one. I'm just saying I would hate to have it, but I have to say it's a great one.
Oh, and he has no trouble hanging on to that. It doesn't bother him not one bit. He's all about the Bobcat. It is great. And the body named me with Freon, and I appreciate that body. That was a good one. But coming up with the nickname, see, we try to name some people's things that they don't like, Jenny.
But you guys, you got it, Freon, you got it easy. The body got it easy. Skidmark kind of got it easy because Freon is natural for the HVAC business.
Yeah,
the only reason Jesse got names because he looked like Jesse Ventura.
Right, yeah. I know that worked out for him.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's funny.
I'm just going to say, you guys do a great job with this show.
Yeah.
I've watched many of your podcasts, and it's always fun. It's entertaining. I always learn something. So keep it going.
Thank you.
It's been an honor to be on. I was a little apprehensive my first podcast ever, but I knew if Daniel had Peach on, it would be 80-20, and it's the way it's worked out.
No, I don't
80% of the talking, and I'll jump in with that.
I told Jenny before we started, I said, we got 4 people. We're going to have to try to keep everybody talking. So this has been great. It's been something
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Been something new. Appreciate you guys. We will see you Saturday morning, okay?
Let's do it.
All right. See ya. All right. Well, Jenny, there we go. Two of my great friends.
Wait a second. Jonathan said JW's nickname is Blue Steel. Okay.
Blue Steel. Now what tell me
that is from the movie Zoolander. And what's funny about that, Jonathan, is that a long time ago, when I had, Sam's took your picture for your membership card, and I looked like Blue Steel in it. And we laughed about it, because that was his face. It was like that was his
okay. I've never seen that movie. Is that a good movie?
Yeah, well, it's pretty dumb, but Blue Steel.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It was his signature look. He was all.
I love how you and Jonathan have this pop culture that y'all are just like.
It's just intelligence. It's like an intelligence.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
It is. I mean, but we're also well diverse because Jonathan also said, "Give me your bullet, Barney," because he knew Barney had that bullet in that pocket.
Oh yeah. Don't you love Andy Griffith?
Yeah. Oh, who don't? I was going to say our cousin, but he would be my brother.
Yeah. Now, Roger, you would think Roger would have a really loving heart as much Andy Griffith as he
You
does.
would think so. And I think yeah. No, not so much.
Well, hey, I hope it goes well with your little.
Oh, it will.
And don't worry about living up to these expectations of your cooking skills.
It's the fact that I'm doing something. You know what I mean?
That's right. And Otis was classic. Okay. I want. Maybe I should have Roger on here, and we just talk about Andy Griffith. You know.
Hey,
you think Roger would do it?
I don't know. You know, Roger. You know, is for me and Daniel to be the way we are.
Yeah.
Roger is my brother. He's my older brother.
Yeah.
He's a little shy.
Yeah. Well, he can be, but now he can also go into that next phase of not being shy. So
true.
Just never know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Hey, Jenny, appreciate you.
I know. I enjoyed it.
And see ya. Have a good one, everybody.